Action. We are here.
And live and in action to discuss episode 5 of X-Men 97, which to a lot of people, including myself until I get to watch the last 2 episodes, one of the best this series has had to offer. And I will say, as someone who watches stuff from time to time, watches a lot of stuff that make people sad or they start to cry, I don't find myself crying with a lot of these things, not because I don't got no soul, like some people like to say. It's just because that's just how I am. I just don't show that kind of emotion often, but stuff like that, I can handle it. But this episode, woof, Lord, I started crying. The ending, I couldn't handle it. I can't watch it again because I'll start crying.
Well, this episode's about Genosha preparing to join the UN. We got selected members from the team that are headed to the islands to become honorary members. All right. We're back at the mansion. Scott, my favorite X-Men, Cyclops, goes ape shit on air. You got Rogue getting knocked off by old man Magneto, and he wanted her to be his queen. And as you just said, if you haven't seen it, spoiler alert, a lot of people's favorite, to me, the movie rendition of him that everybody said should have been played by Channing Tatum, who I think is the worst actor of all time in Hollywood. Thank God he didn't play that role. But my man from Friday Night Lights played it, and he didn't do too damn good either, by the way. But Gambit dies, Estella. I mean, was this like you losing Mufasa all over again for you?
It is like losing Mufasa all over because he's one of my favorite X-Men characters, and his and Rogue's relationship to me is one of my favorite on-screen ones because even though they can't physically touch or anything because she'll absorb his powers, etc., it's a relationship that's been built purely based on being friends and loving each other for who they are as far as personality and the chemistry between the two of them. That's why I like it. Rogue's relationship with Magneto, on the other hand, when I found that, I was weirded out. I'm like,
it was purely sexual.
Yes, and I was like, isn't this man like 40 years her senior, like 40, 50 years her senior? Like, what the hell? I didn't need to see this. I didn't need to know this was happening behind the scenes. And then getting the backstory about that being the only one that can touch her unless y'all read like comics and stuff like that about other universes and stuff that happens to the two of them. I'm just like, I cannot get behind that. And when he wanted her to stay to be his queen, so to speak, to help with them, and she was nearly like going to, I was just like, girl, please don't.
Listen, all the blogs, all the dirt sheets, that means our social medias we're a part of, right? That's like, we don't have like really that kind of stuff. But like everybody was going crazy, right? Like, oh, you lost your girl to an old man. Oh, Magneto's a real pimp. All right, here I am, the dummy, because I don't read comic books like that. I've never been a big comic book fan. I'm a cartoon guy. And I had to Google. Yeah, I had to go because I know that Mystique's her mother. I always thought that he was her father. So I had to go Google like, oh no, it's the other guy with the P in his name, Owen, whatever, that is her dad. Because Mystique, she got like 2 baby daddies. You know what I mean? Because they don't even talk about how her and Nightcrawler are brothers. Yeah, they haven't gotten to that yet. So executive consultant, you down there doing everything but being executive. Your thoughts on this episode so far? Episode 5. Everybody says this was the best episode thus far. In all fairness, right? We know they got episode 7, 8 just dropped. We're only doing episode 5 tonight. This is arguably the best episode. Most people say. Your thoughts?
I can definitely see why people will say this is the best episode. I'll see why people say this is their favorite episode. Now, for me personally, it's 3. But once again, I can see why this gave you everything. And I say it all the time. This gives you all in the feels, emotion, right? Because even if Gambit's not one of your favorites, Gambit's not one of my favorites. I never had a problem with him. I never disliked him at all, right? But he was never one of my favorites. However, by the end of this episode, in which most movies and TV shows do, you know how people, and count back, I like soap operas, right?
Oh, so what? So do I.
How I would do I know a character is about to die? I'll go back to one of the soap operas I watched, General Hospital, right? There's a character, his name is Nathan, right? He was married to Maxie.
Oh, I'm about to walk off. I'm about to cry. Why are you bringing up?
Nathan got killed, but I knew Nathan was going to get killed because at the end, he and Maxie had this loving scene where they were in the hospital and they were talking about their baby and they were like, I love you, and he got on the elevator. I said, this man's about to go get killed. I knew immediately because that's what they do to you, right?
Damn.
They set you up perfectly. They had Nightcrawler, who's also not one of my favorite characters, but he did a good job in this one. As he was telling him, hey, he was doing his best impersonation of Sebastian the Crab. They said, why don't you marry the girl? right? Why don't you go ahead and kiss the girl, right? That's his sister, and they haven't addressed it yet in this series. They did it in the original. They haven't addressed it in this series, but in the next episode, they talk about the fact of brother and sister.
Well, that's why like X-Men Evolutions is my favorite rendition of X-Men cartoons.
They really.
That's my favorite X-Men cartoon.
And fun fact, I actually just watched X-Men Evolution for the first time last month, and then last week Wolverine X-Men. And actually, I was surprised because I didn't give either one of them a chance. I didn't give either one of them a chance. When I watched it, I was like, you know what? As Vic would say to Mark Victor Rodriguez, so you can watch it on Thursdays with us, I have regrets because I should have given it a chance because both of them, even though X-Men anime series is still my favorite, right? Mm-hmm. But just like I said, I can see why somebody says 5. I can see why somebody says Evolution. I could definitely see why somebody says Wolverine the X-Men, which did not get a fair shake if you ask me.
No, it didn't. It had 2 seasons.
It had 1 season. 1 season, 23 episodes. Right?
Okay, well, the way they did it on TV, because I watched them religiously, they broke them up. Yeah, so it felt like 2 seasons, but
it was done very, very well. And the next season was supposed to be about Apocalypse, and we didn't get a chance to get into that. Very upset. Anyway, I'm deviating. The thing is, he was there. You could tell he was there. You could tell he was jealous. She was telling the story of Magneto. She opened up. She admitted the story of Magneto with him. Didn't make any sense, realistically speaking. But hey, we're in the fields, right? Got you. She teased like she was going to do it. That's what women do. Sorry, Barbara. That's what women do. She teased like she was going to do it. She had one last kiss, and then she said, "You know what? That's my man. I'm going to my man." Right?
Hold on, Barbara. You going to take that? You be teasing him?
I don't tease this one, but listen, there's
I said them, not him. Them.
I tease who I want from time to time because they like to tease back. However,
girl.
I'm just gonna say this: her going to Magneto, I could not. Like I couldn't, and I will. I'm
Did
gonna
you see his abs?
I don't get. Abs mean nothing if the personality isn't there. I'm gonna say that.
Yeah, Magneto had some abs going.
Magneto's the most in shape 80-year-old.
80-year-old, yo. They'll never get old.
You know, and let me talk because there was a lot in because I watched this episode today. It was a lot into this, right? So, Cable making an appearance, which I didn't see coming. Cable making an appearance, saying, "I'm sorry, Mom." You know, seeing the mom. That, and we talked about this in pre-production. That Sentinel, who was legitimately the scariest Sentinel I've ever seen, that shit was huge, destroying everything. And this is when, once again, you see this isn't your '90s version of X-Men. I know they put that number on there, but anyone doing this shit in the '90s. If nobody was just getting killed like this, right? They were just literally bodying people left and right. And I'm not just talking about randoms. I'm talking about main characters. Calypso died. Right, Sebastian Shaw died. I think Emma Frost died. Like main people were dying. In the end, Magneto died with that little kid. I forgot his name. Leech. Right. Yeah. One of my favorite scenes. Feel me if you want, Wrestling Doll. Was actually Cyclops after he lost it, spazzed out on air, as Knox talked about.
That's how he nearly exploded on air.
Who we thought was Jean Grey. Yeah. It was actually Madeline Pryor. That's actually one of my favorite scenes in that episode. Actually, the whole series.
That's why you like that episode the most.
I loved it. I loved it. It reminded me of my soap operas. I loved it because you thought he was talking to Jean and they were bonding after Jean was over there flirting with Wolverine. Yeah. Like, teasing. Shame on you, Barbara. It's teasing Wolverine, right? You thought they were talking. And then she comes out and says, "Oh, let me guess. You can explain? Excuse me, madam." Cut her off. I thought that was dope. I love it. I was like, "Oh shit, that was Madeline." I had no idea. And that series, that episode was just so well done. And then Rogue's Rage, her getting spattered away by Gambit, who went and tried to save everyone, getting stabbed violently.
Very violently.
And saying that line, "The name is Gambit, remember it," so well, so effectively, and then blowing up and showing you how powerful he is just because of the fact he was able to do that. And then, of course, the tears being shed, not by me, but everybody else, all the other Hammondakers, where his lifeless body is in Rogue's arms, and she says, "Sugar, I can't," and they blacked out. It was, oh my God, so well done. You could not do it better with live action. So well done. "Sugar, I can't feel you." And you are left with the, oh my God, they killed Gambit. He's dead. Okay. Yeah. That's a spoiler. He's dead. Is he probably gonna come back?
This ain't Vampire Diaries.
No, he's
not somewhere else.
But he's dead. He's legitimately dead. All right, they buried him and everything in the next episode. Spoiler, you'll see us next week for that. But I love this episode. So when I talk about it, it actually might be my favorite episode. But I'm such a Sinister fan, so it's probably episode 3. I don't know. That's how good this season.
You would like Sinister. Somebody get him off the screen.
Sinister. I love it.
Listen, he will have top 5, top 10, top 15, 20 of his favorite X-Men villains, and Sinister will be number 1 on that list.
Sinister will be number 1, Apocalypse number 2, Master Mold probably number 3.
Look at him go.
Sinister over Apocalypse. He is Jesus. The
Apocalypse is good, but Sinister is more complex, and that's what I like about it.
Sinister is very sinister.
Correct. He's shadier. He works more behind the scenes. Apocalypse is just, I'm a god. I'm about to kill you. And it's so kind of dry. But he's great. Don't get me wrong. He's up there with Thanos to me. He's up there with Darkseid with me. He's in that league to me. But even though Darkseid is great in Superman, Lex Luthor is my favorite Superman villain. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So that's how I see it. But also, I never sleep with Magneto. The only villain in X-Men I don't like is Mondo from that guy we talked about last week. I just don't like him.
Yeah.
Anyway, I talk too much. I'm like Vic. I talk too much. But there was a lot in this episode. 34 minutes. They cram a lot into it.
They do. Estella, go ahead. Your feels. You said you were brought to tears there. Where do you rank this episode? And how when we get done this, are you watching wrestling? Or are you going to go watch episode 6?
I'm going to watch episode 7 because I already watched episode 6 and I don't feel like rewatch it again. Although I might have to when reviewing it if I am brought back to review episode 6. But seeing the island of Genosha and how even though they weren't part of America per se and all that was happening and they're seeing all the mutants that were there being so happy and possibly being part of the UN and being brought to represent and all that, it just gives you a glimmer of hope that finally some people will see that just because they're a little different, they ain't bad. But then you got some Sentinels, those giant robots that they brought in.
Yeah.
Thank you. That were brought in the original to come back to this one as well. To come and destroy everything and everybody because some people are just afraid of what they can't understand. Destroying everybody. And when they hit Gambit's, I was starting to cry and I couldn't believe it because it had been ages since I last cried to anything while watching a movie or a TV show, be it. But I really did enjoy this episode. And my favorite line, because I was chatting with somebody, a friend of mine, about this episode, because he said he put out in a post, and I quote, "I will die alone like Gambit one day." And I told him that he wouldn't because he will find his robe. And the line that he says when they're having their scene together, when she's bringing up her and Magneto's history, that some things aren't just skin deep. I was like, "Bury this man! What are you doing? Doesn't matter if you can't touch him. Be with him. Y'all will eventually figure out a way to be together and have that physical touch and not take his powers. You will learn how to control that. Go to him. Don't go to Magneto. What is wrong with you?" But despite that, I love this episode. It brings me joy and makes me feel the nostalgia of watching the cartoons that I did that actually taught you something and made you feel something and then just rot your brain. And just like when y'all watched the X-Men Evolution, it came out around the 2000s, and I grew up watching it as the episodes came out.
It's a pretty good series. I do.
It is.
It's a little slow at first, but it picks up. There are certain things I still don't like about it, but they did a lot.
That's fair.
They did a lot. I really thought it was good.
That's fair. And
Magneto was
from that version.
I've never seen a bad Magneto. Ever seen a bad Magneto? Live action or animated? Never seen a bad Magneto.
No, you know what's funny about that? I'm not sure which one I like more. Because I think even in live action versions of Magneto, you put that picture up in one of our chats today.
Yeah, I didn't ask the question I got that picture from is which is your favorite? It's hard.
I would say, if I say his name right, I know I'm going to say it wrong. What's the one who plays the one from Days of Future Past?
Well, remember, they had both of them in Days of Future Past.
Okay, right. I'm talking about the younger one, not the one from the original. That guy, it's just how he carries the role of and their dynamic. Personally, I think their dynamic of X-Men Future Past and that X-Men series first and all that stuff, first X-Men, whatever it's called, whatever. I like those better than the original X-Men as far as
X-Men First Class.
Yeah, as far as my man from Star Trek and those guys. I
Sir
love
Patrick
those. I love those guys' characters, but I just think the relationship felt more. I got into it more. I felt it more with that X-Men and that cast, and just overall, like this. Just watching this episode just shows you cartoons are not the same, like you said, that they were in the 90s. Like
not at all.
this thing is deep. You get into the episode with what we talked about yesterday with Storm, and that whole, that's her talking to that owl. That is so intense, right? And then you go from that to this, and even them having where you got I'm not good at the names, so help me out. When they're at the table and they're talking with the older guys, and when they're in Genosha. And then the guy was with Sebastian Shaw. That guy is that's a hell of a villain, personally.
Right. He was the main villain X-Men First Class. Actually.
Yeah. Right. The one that Kevin Bacon plays.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Just
you killed
everything.
My mother.
Yeah. Sorry. This show is just really, really good. Like I have to post it on my walls. Like this might be the best cartoon I've watched personally for me since Avatar. Since Avatar for me, and I had to be careful because I always say greatest, but see, to me, Avatar's within the last 20 years.
You've been doing better with that, actually.
You know what I mean? So because I do have to pull back from it, so I gotta break them down, and you know what I mean? Because it's not my favorite cartoon of all time, but and Avatar's has been. I would get up and watch it. I would watch them over and over. I still watch Avatar. I've watched this show over and over and over again. I've seen each one of these episodes 3-4 times. It's that damn good. You said it earlier. It's like watching a movie. You know what I mean? To the point you got people, including my wife, saying they have to put this into live action movies, right? I don't think so. But what the fuck do I know?
They already
tried that. They can, but realistically speaking, they don't need to. They don't need to. So well, that's what. You couldn't do it better if it was live action, and they've done a very good job. I thought X-Men: Days of Future Past, and after this, I see he's in the comments. I might give him a call. Ron, because
Jay Cardell is on TV wrestling. That's funny. Sorry.
That's I'll have to. On YouTube TV. I can rewind it. But Bad Guy Jack never saw X-Men United, X-Men 2, and he just watched it.
Wow, you never saw X-Men 2? Literally, and hear me when I say this, is the reason for every single thing we have right now in comic book movies. That opening scene with Nightcrawler, hands down, made every single movie change what they have to do. When movies do not start off and they take 30 minutes to get into something, it's because of X-Men 2. Yeah. Hands down.
I did hands down. It came out around my birthday in 2003, and I could not go see it the first night. I was so mad that I illegally downloaded it. I said, I'm just going to tease myself with the first 5 minutes. This is a true story. This is a shoot. Tease myself with the first 5 minutes. First 5 minutes is the Nightcrawler White House scene. I was like, I got to go see that movie. I saw the movie 3 times. I have to go see that movie the very next day because that was an intense.
It changed the game. It literally changed the game
compared to today because they, as you said, changed the game. So everything's pretty much been doing that since. But that was the first time out the bat.
I would still beg. We've had this debate on these shows as well, and Stella, please jump here if you will. And we go and that same argument when it comes to the Spider-Mans, right? And I still say Spider-Man 2. I don't think, to me, you can't make an anime movie. There's no comparison an anime film to a live action film for me personally. Okay, you're not gonna sit there and tell me Into the Spider-Verse is the greatest Spider movie of all time. It's a fucking cartoon. You can make it different. You Spider-Man can make a live action, right? Spider-Man 2, hands down, it just takes it to the top, right? But because of Spider-Man 2, everybody had to step up their game. You know what I mean? And then X2 came out, stepped up their game. Like to me, for me, my favorite MCU universe movie outside of the Avengers, because they just all, I don't care how you rate them, 1, 2, 3, 4, they're all great. The Avenger movies, but Winter Soldier, to me, changed the game. Like, to me, Marvel does nothing bad when it comes to espionage and those kind of things. So, but back to this and the death of Gambit, where are we going to go from this next is the question. Estella, let me ask you that, Wrestling Dog. Do you think they're going to, mix some of the cartoon into the live actions?
I mean, there's just some things you don't need to try to make into a live action. But where they're going to go from here as far as that storyline, I don't know. All I know is they're going to definitely have Rogue broken as hell for a while because that was someone that she deeply did love. And it wasn't just purely lust since they could never have that. So I am definitely looking forward to watching those episodes and seeing what they're going to do with it from here on out, because, boy, I will never stop saying it. That was a tearjerker because I can't even remember the last time I ever cried over a cartoon ever. I can't remember. Before this, I can't remember. I wouldn't be able to tell you.
They just better make Rogue in the live action. I'm tired of her getting the shaft. Okay, no pun intended. When I said after I said that, just they never make her as powerful as she really is in the movies.
She's
right?
powerful as hell.
As hell. You know what I'm saying?
Episode 7.
Oh yeah.
And I feel like the X-Men, this series has done a very good job. I think I said this last episode. Of every episode, they showcase somebody's powers and how powerful they are. They did that with Storm in the first episode when she was battling those Sentinels, and she just like.
And my guy.
Who's that? Oh, it's Cyclops. They did the same thing with Cyclops.
Unnecessary powerful.
They did this with this episode with Gambit. So Wolverine. Spoiler alert. Episode 8, Wolverine. They showed you Wolverine is that dude also. That was
Mr. 5'1".
Mm-hmm. Episode 3, you saw Jean Grey is
well, like, Jean Grey is that though.
Yeah, she is that.
She is that. And they've always shown that.
Even Morph, the fact that he can take everybody's physical attributes when he's not their natural projectile powers, but their physical attributes when he portrays their character. It's just amazing. And we all know Professor Xavier and Magneto in episode 8 too, because I don't know how the fuck he did what he did. Excuse me.
Oh, that was insane. And we'll talk about that next time.
We'll talk about when we get there.
But final thoughts, final words before we get out of here, Miss Estella.
Well, I'm just gonna say now I'm giving it a 2 big old thumbs up because I thoroughly enjoyed this episode because it brought emotion out of me that I hadn't felt in so long. So if a cartoon can do that to someone who doesn't normally cry when watching something, it's definitely good as hell.
But there you have Estella's pick. Listen, before we get out of here, guys, we do got some other movies coming up this week here on Unpop Review Entertainment. Make sure you guys come back here on Tuesday. Make sure you guys come back here on Thursday. We have 48 Hours with Nick Nolte and Eddie Murphy, and we got Crimson Tide with one Denzel Washington and that guy who Gene Hackman. He's such a great actor. I mean, just name something. Gene Hackman, never a bad role. Check those out as well. But X-Men Episode 5 we just did. X-Men Episode 6, Executive Consultant. When do you think that shall be, sir? Any questions there?
I'm assuming we've done it so well so far for the last 2 weeks. We're going to shoot for Tuesday again for Episode 6 and see how that works. I'm not sure who's going to be on it. I'll be on it. We'll see who else is on that episode. And and we're going to try to do 2 episodes next week too. So we'll do Episode 6 and Episode 7, and we should be caught up pretty much after that.
Caught up after that. Listen, that is the Wrestling Dog.
Hold up.
Okay.
Did we give a thumbs up or thumbs down?
Oh shit! I just assumed we all gave thumbs up, so I ain't lying. She gave it 2 thumbs up and a twist. I just figured you didn't see the guy back. See, he's doing it again right now. Just thumbs up already. Am I wrong? Did you have it? Are you not entertained? Was it not a thumbs up?
I did. Pop it up.
Okay. There it is. So there it is, guys. Thumbs up.
No.
Oh,
I
what?
did. Pop it up.
Duh.
Does that shock anyone? Is a question.
He just wanted to show his little hard work he put on his phone.
Exactly. You know it. You make them all the time. I make them. When you do it, you want somebody to see it, even though you already knew what the hell time it was. And look at Wrestling Doll. What are you dressed as today?
I just got bored, so I guess I kind of look like a Y2K version of Black Canary from the Birds of Prey movie.
Y2K version. Yeah, thank you. I'm glad that was put up. Ladies and gentlemen,
let's get up out of here. No, I got this
now. I feel like a copyright.
I got this now. No, oh shit. Oh god, he's gonna copyright.
Let's copyright.
Sugar. I can't feel you.
Damn.
Why did he do that to me? I'm ready to cry again.
I feel like Nathan all over again. Damn it.
Still the saddest death to me.
Damn it. Well, listen, check her out, the Wrestling Doll, on Tuesday nights for NXT. Executive Consultant, Monday Night Raw. Damn it. Myself, the Mike Knox Show for the Intelligent Wrestling fan. We're out of here. X-Men 97. Peace.